This, well, I don't know. I don't think there's a name for it, but we'll get it. I lived in New York for a while, New York City for about 10 years. And from the first part of that time, I did different sorts of jobs, and I never had any regular hours. Actually, I was working for a detective agency and doing, anyway, I was irregular hours, running all over the place. And then I got a job with the government, so I was working regular, straight time. And when you do that, when you're commuting, going from Brooklyn into Manhattan, riding on the subway, you see the same people over and over again. And so, being relatively young compared to now anyway, you look at the young ladies, and there were about 4 of them that I would take note of. Getting on the train, that was, like, okay, it's a good day, I've got all 4, and that was pretty much it, except one of them seemed to take notice of me, which was odd, at least from my point of view. And she would come over and stand close proximity while we're standing there on the train, trying to read a book or something. It took a while to realize this wasn't happening by accident. We were winding up in the same car, on the same train, standing almost next to each other, and riding into Manhattan. Now, this could have meant something, except I was married. I had 2 children. What do you do with a young woman when you're married and have 2 children? And we were mostly happy, about an 8.5 out of 10, but at home. The thing is, if I couldn't do anything with this young lady because I wasn't about to have an affair, so I didn't want to say hello, start a relationship. What am I going to do? Bring her home and introduce her to the wife? Hey, this is someone I met on the train. Just didn't know what to do. So I said nothing, and we just kept doing this. It went on for months, standing next to each other on the train. It got so, I don't know, there was like tension building, at least I felt it. And one time I missed my regular car, I'm rushing, I got on another car, and you get on and everybody's seated, everybody's standing up, the ones on that side have their back to you, and I looked over and I saw a young lady in the pants, wearing, and I said, I bet that's her. I recognized the tush. That's how much we were getting, anyway, how much I got to know her anyway. So, and it turned out it was. Well, it kept going like that, and I don't know where it was expecting to lead. And then one day, we're on the train, and most of the people riding in were white-collar workers. They're all going to office jobs. And you get a handful of blue-collar folks going off to do construction or whatever they went off to do. And one of those guys happened to be on the train. And so I'm standing over here with my book and my shoulder bag or whatever it was, and she's standing over here. This guy is standing right there, and the train gives a lurch about two stops down, and she staggered backwards, lost her balance, bumps into this guy, and he gave her a shove halfway across the train. And I want to react, but I got the book in the bag and the whole, and while I'm thinking, the guy behind him just tugged on his jacket, and he's yelling, "Well, she stepped on my foot, she stepped on me." No, he just tagged the jacket, so he quieted down. Meanwhile, the girl's lying over here across the laps of the people in the seats, and someone over on the other side got up to give her his seat. And so I followed her over, so that when she sat down, I'm standing now in front of her and between her and the other guys, kind of a little barrier, a little buffer. And if ever there was an opportunity to say something, that would have been it. To follow up with how are you doing, blah, 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 so forth. But still, if I did that, where would it go? I couldn't think of any good place. So nothing happened, and a couple weeks after that, she stopped riding in that car. She started riding somewhere else, because she figured out, I guess, after all that time, it was that's as far as it was going to get. And so I don't know what you call that kind of relationship.